You know what? आप बहुत स्मार्ट हैं और यार स्ट्रॉन्ग तो आप सबसे ज्यादा हो, सबसे ज्यादा। पर पता है फर्क किससे पड़ता है? आप बोलते क्या हैं, और खास करके एक इंटरव्यू में, क्योंकि एक इंटरव्यूअर शुरुआत के 7 सेकंड्स में डिसाइड कर लेता है कि आप कैसे कैंडिडेट हैं। और जानना चाहते हो इसके बारे में तो कंटिन्यू वॉचिंग। एक इंटरव्यू में जाकर के जब आप वर्ड यूज करते हैं, आई थिंक, आई ओनली लुक्ड एट द रिपोर्ट, आई एम नॉट श्योर अबाउट इट, एटसेट्रा, तो आप क्या कर रहे हैं दोस्त? यू आर किलिंग योर चांसेस, दैट्स अबाउट इट। डू यू नो देयर इज अ थिंग कॉल्ड पावर फ्रेजिंग? आपके चॉइस ऑफ वर्ड से लेकर के कुछ स्मार्ट लीडर फ्रेजेस बोले जाते हैं जिनको एक्चुअली सिर्फ लीडर्स यूज करते हैं। तो आज के इस वीडियो में हम बात करने वाले हैं हाउ नॉट टू किल योर चांसेस, एंड बेसिकली विद द हेल्प ऑफ योर कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स actually enhance those chances. So let's go to the video.
So as we were discussing earlier, most of the candidates in an interview blow their chances in the very first sentence, right? So today I'm going to show you exactly what not to say and what to say instead. So you sound confident, professional, and almost unforgettable. These are some power phrases that instantly level up your communication. Stick around to the end because I'll give you a free cheat sheet as well with all these swaps. So whatever I'm teaching you here, I'm going to put that in a PDF, and I'm also going to pin that in the comment, okay? You have to make sure that you revise all these swaps and you have to be perfect for your next interview. When I say perfect, there's literally nothing that I'm running after, or I don't want you to have this target in your head that I have to be perfect when I am speaking in this British accent or American accent. No, perfect basically means control on your word, right? So the first thing is the power of word choice. It's not literally just what you say, it's how you say it. Your phrasing can make you sound unsure or maybe inexperienced or like a total pro. So a very recent study that I was going through on LinkedIn that found that 83% of recruiters, can you believe it? 83% of recruiters say poor communication is the #1 reason candidates get rejected, even if their skills are solid. Let me repeat that. It's not just your resume, it is also your words and how you put them. Now, the phrases that you really need to stop saying. Let's talk about that. Let's break down the top phrases that kill confidence and what to say instead of that. Now, the first one is, I think. Everybody uses this and people feel like ये तो बड़ा ही harmless सा है, right? But what is it doing? It's making you sound kind of unsure. Instead of that, what can you say? Based on my experience or from what I have seen. These two phrases, correct? Example, first if you're saying something like, I think this strategy could work, instead of that, you can say, based on my experience with X, this strategy delivers strong results. Did you see the difference? Now moving on to the next phrase that a lot of people use and finding it very harmless again. So they say, I'm not sure, but. You are literally telling them to not to trust you because you are not sure of yourself or whatever you're thinking and going to say. Instead of that, what can you say? You can say, let me walk you through my thought process. What is it doing? It's showing your confidence in how you think, even if you don't have the perfect answer. So that looks like a confident person, correct? Number 3, people all the time keep saying things like, honestly. Right? So what is it doing again? What do you mean by again and again emphasizing on that word honestly? Subconsciously, people, this implies you weren't honest before, or maybe you are forcing honesty on yourself. Instead of that, just speak your truth. You don't need a disclaimer, or maybe just try to be transparent, correct? So instead of saying all that, just say whatever comes to your mind. Be like giving disclaimers, okay? Number 4, I just or I only. These two phrases are actually minimizers. They minimize your contributions. So when you say something like, I just worked on that report, मैंने सिर्फ इतना ही किया था. What is that? Instead of these, you can say, I contributed to, or I was responsible for. Let's take an example in case. I just helped with the XYZ report. Now remove this. What can you say? I was responsible for analyzing the data and presenting insight for XYZ report. Correct? The next one, the next good phrase, but first the bad phrase. I don't have experience in that. See, I like the fact that most of the candidates are very, very honest and they want to be very clear कि हमने क्या किया है और हमने क्या नहीं किया है. That's a really good thing. But you are literally spotlighting your lackings. Like whatever you are lacking, you're kind of putting it in highlight. Why do you have to do that? Instead of that, you can say, while I haven't done this directly, here I have tackled similar challenges. ऐसा तो नहीं है कि तुमने X नहीं किया, A नहीं किया, B नहीं किया, तो तुमने उसके अलावा बचे हुए जो letters हैं उनको भी नहीं किया. Correct? तुमने किया होगा in similar potential. Well, moving on to the next phrase. I feel like. I feel like क्या? I feel like eating ice cream. आपके opinion को कमजोर बना रहा है ये. This is weakening your opinion. You know what? You should say, I believe or in my experience. See, whenever you're just saying, I feel like this is not a good experience, that makes it very individual, and it also shows that this person is kind of creating things in his head. You know, too comfort driven, too casual. I feel that this is not ice cream flavor. You feel is good for the ice cream flavor. But when you are talking about bigger, more important, more solid things, they need to be accompanied by your belief system or your experience. So say things like, I believe or in my experience. With that, let's move on to the 7th phrase. That's a good question. You know, so once I was taking this interview and I asked a very simple question, but the candidate, because like a robot, he had prepared for this interview. Whenever I'm going to be confused or whenever this is going to be a tough question, I will say the phrase, that's a good question. और आपको तनु मनु का वो सीन याद है, उसमें बंदे ने कहा था, your question hurt me. ये वाला जो फ्रेज है ना, ये वही वाली वाइब देने लग गया है. दिस साउंड्स लाइक अ स्टॉल टैक्टिक कि बंदा अब जो है आगे बातें घुमाने की कोशिश कर रहा है. सो इंस्टेड ऑफ दिस व्हाट कैन यू डू? इंस्टेड ऑफ दैट यू कैन से, हियर्स हाउ आई वुड अप्रोच दैट. यू नो, जब आप सोच रहे हो कि मैं तो इंटरव्यू को स्टॉल कर रहा हूँ ना, इधर उधर भटका दे रहा हूँ, नहीं, वो सबको पता चल रहा होता है. एंड व्हेन यू से दिस दैट हियर्स हाउ आई वुड अप्रोच दैट, even if you're thinking on your feet, like literally आप अभी आंसर दे रहे हो, still कोशिश करो कि आप अपना तरीका दो. देखो, honesty के साथ साथ ना that real behavior, that literal transparency, वो चीज सामने आनी चाहिए ना. Anyway, इतने phrases के बाद मैं आपको कुछ bonus power phrases भी बताती हूँ जो कि आपको help करेंगे to sound like a leader. All right. When I say you want to sound smart and confident, that's when you need to sprinkle in these leader level phrases. है ना, कभी कभी बहुत कुछ नहीं आता, हम थोड़ा हिंदी, थोड़ा इंग्लिश और मे बी थोड़ा सा रीजनल लैंग्वेज और थोड़ा सा इंग्लिश में बात कर रहे होते हैं, तो वहां पर ये एक दो phrases ना पूरी कहानी को बदल देते हैं. Now, first phrase is, here's what I have learned. This phrase shows you are reflective and growth oriented. जब भी आप ऐसे बोलते हो ना कि यार here's what I have learned, बंदा सोचता है कि इसने महीने, एक साल के ईयर चार्ट में से सीखी हैं और पीछे भी देखता है, रिफ्लेक्टिव है, अपने जो अभी तक का इसने रूट तय किया है उससे सीखा है इस इंसान ने. So that is the kind of image you are creating with that one single phrase. Next phrase is, I'd be dive deeper at. यहाँ पर देखो, all of that, तो आपके कितने लोग ऐसे बात कर रहे हैं, लेकिन generally all the people बात कर रहे हैं. क्यों नहीं करिए? Because one day, someday, you would also be in that position, correct? And when you say, I'd be happy to dive deeper into that, what is it doing? This is keeping the door open for discussion, and it kind of shows mastery. You know, it kind of shows that हाँ, ये बंदा chill है, परेशान नहीं है, इस बात को और गहराई में समझने के लिए open है. Correct. Next phrase, I approached it by. आपने किसी चीज को, किसी प्रॉब्लम को कैसे रीच आउट किया, कैसे सॉल्व किया, टैकल किया. जब आप ये फ्रेज बोलते हो ना, दिस साउंड्स वेरी इंटेंशनल एंड वेरी स्ट्रक्चर्ड, कि आपने क्या प्लान लेकर के उस टॉपिक, उस आइडिया को रीच किया था. ठीक है, तो कोई भी नया आइडिया तुम्हारे पास आया और किसी ने पूछा ये आइडिया कैसे आया, तो ये फ्रेज को जरूर यूज करना. नेक्स्ट फ्रेज है, आई एंश्योर्ड दैट. एंश्योर जब आप किसी वर्ड में लगा देते हो ना, तो वो बहुत आपको स्ट्रॉन्ग बंदा बनाता है, इंडिविजुअल स्ट्रॉन्ग बनाता है. पूछो क्यों? बिकॉज दिस काइंड ऑफ puts the focus on outcomes and ownership. कि आपने कोई भी एक, चलो मैं कहती हूँ सिंपल सी पावर पॉइंट बनाई है, या लेट्स से आप एक मीटिंग कर रहे हो, तो उसमें अगर आपने ये भी इंश्योर किया ना कि किसी का टाइम जाया नहीं हो, nobody's time gets wasted. Sounds like a leader or not? आप सबका सोच रहे हो. I ensured that nobody gets to waste time. See? That's important. The next phrase is, I'm confident I can learn X quickly because. देखो, जैसे मैंने आपको पहले बताया था कि हो सकता है आपके पास किसी चीज का एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है, राइट? तो वहां पर आप बोल सकते हो कि मैंने सिमिलर चीजों को टैकल किया है, एंड प्लस आई कैन लर्न दिस थिंग क्विकली बिकॉज because you are very adaptive in nature, you're a quick learner, you like to read about things, you are a good collaborator, so you would go to your mentors, your colleagues, and you'll speak to them. So this is showing so many good things about you. And also, guys, this shows humility and initiative. अगर कोई भी चीज ऐसी है ना जो आपको लग रहा है कि यार मुझे अभी नहीं आती, मैं तो फ्रेशर हूं, तो डर के घबरा के भागने की जरूरत नहीं है. The fresh grads, this is a good statement for you, a good phrase for you, use it. Okay. Now, students, let's talk about what is confidence. Everybody feels like confidence is only when you are at the top of the game. ऐसा नहीं होता है. Confidence isn't about pretending to know. ठीक है, आपको आता कुछ नहीं, but आप pretend कर रहे हो कि मुझे सब आता है. So it isn't about pretending to know everything. It's about owning what you do know and showing how you approach the unknown. यानी जो आपको आता है उसके आप कितने तगड़े एक्सपर्ट हो, और जो नहीं आता उस चीज के लिए आपका नजरिया, पर्सपेक्टिव क्या है, किस तरीके का अप्रोच है. And why does this work? And this is kind of backed by psychology, everybody. Behavioral scientists call this framing. When you frame your experience the right way, what happens? You sound more credible. That triggers trust-based responses. It gets remembered for leadership. And studies also show that using confident language increases your chances of getting hired by 27%, even when qualifications are identical, of course. And you know what? हमारे पास जो ज़्यादातर कैंडिडेट्स आते हैं वो फ्रेशर्स होते हैं, न्यू ग्रेजुएट्स होते हैं, और उन्हें लगता है कि भाई मेरा तो कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता, मेरे पास तो लैंग्वेज का भी इशू है, एक्सपीरियंस भी नहीं है, मैं तो शहर में भी नया हूँ, गॉड नोज व्हाट आई विल डू. बट वेट, देयर इज अ ग्रेजुएट एडवांटेज दैट आई एम गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट. इफ यू आर अ फ्रेश ग्रेड, यू नीड टू पे अटेंशन. यू मे नॉट हैव ईयर्स ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस, बट व्हाट यू हैव? You do have projects, internships, volunteer work, and a mindset. You know what? And these things will really play in your favor. You have to use phrases like, in my capstone project, I led XYZ. अब तुमने कहीं पर भी एक project किया as an intern, talk about it. Number 2, during my internship, I contributed to XYZ. Talk about it. Number 3, in a team setting, I typically, जो भी आप करते हो, एक टीम का माहौल जब होता है तो उसमें आपका क्या रोल होता है, इस चीज को दिखाइए. नंबर 4, I'd approach this by leveraging my experience with. आपका एक्सपीरियंस कहाँ पर काम आएगा, किस प्रोजेक्ट में सूटेबली, उसको मेंशन करो. And don't just say, I'm just starting out, I'm a new person. ये सब क्या है? आपको पता है कि रो के नौकरी तो कभी नहीं मिलती. नौकरी तो मिलेगी आपको अपने दम पे, राइट? और आपके पास बहुत कुछ है. Stop spotlighting your lacks. Did you get that point? Now, instead of saying I'm just starting out and all of that, you can say I bring a fresh perspective backed by XYZ experience. करेक्ट? तो अगर आप इसी चीज को कॉन्फिडेंटली बोल रहे हो तो देखो कितना डिफरेंट लग रहा है. यू आर नॉट inexperienced, you are in progress. All right? Now, if this video helped you, hit that like button and share it with someone who's job hunting. It could literally change their life. And subscribe if you want real world career hacks that actually work. No fluff, just power skills. Because smart communication isn't optional. It's your secret weapon, and I have always talked about it. Also, remember that important PDF that I spoke about? You'll find that in the comment section. There's one more request I have. You have to drop a comment and you have to let me know in the comment section what's that one phrase you have heard in interviews and that made you cringe. बहुत सारे ऐसे phrases होते हैं जिनको सुन के लगता है जैसे एक तो मुझे अब वो ही नहीं अच्छा लगता. That's a good question because clear cut वो एक stalling technique है, तो वो मेरे लिए cringe है. But अगर ये आपको भी पता है कि कोई एक ऐसा phrase जो बहुत लोग use कर रहे हैं, कमेंट करके मुझे ज़रूर बताइएगा. एंड हाँ, याद रखिए, यू डोंट नीड टू बी परफेक्ट, यू नीड टू बी योर सेल्फ विथ कॉन्फिडेंस. थैंक यू वेरी मच. गॉड ब्लेस यू. डोंट फॉरगेट टू लाइक, शेयर एंड